All right. I'd like to welcome everybody once again to the Splash Brothers Luncheon special Saturday edition. We're joined by a frequent guest. I think it's your third time on, second or third.
Yep.
No, it's third. Yeah, I think. Either way, no. This is your second because we came on y'all's pod once. Yeah. So, anyways,
Yep.
it's Soapy. See, I don't think I'm talking to myself. What's going on, man? How was your week?
It's going good, man. I was telling you before we started recording, this is the first super nice weekend here in New Hampshire.
Right.
I think it's gonna hit like 90 today, so it's hot as balls. My AC is tripping out, not working. Sucks.
How hot is it?
Otherwise, what's up?
How hot is it?
It's gonna hit 90 today, but
Huh.
inside my house it says it's 85.
Oh yeah.
Wait, I got a question.
Hmm.
I noticed you left out honorary Splash Brother in my
Ah.
introduction. I'm
Yeah.
invited to the barbecue, right?
Okay, so I don't do the whole invitee to the barbecue thing. That's yeah. I mean, we can definitely eat some barbecue together, but I just think that term is just like kind of played out and corny and gets
Yeah.
misused, and it's like, oh, this dude wears Jordan ones. Now we can, let's invite him over to my
Yeah.
mama's house for a barbecue. So yeah, that's But yeah, so I kind of I think I have to bring that to the board officially because I had some pushback when I tried to do that before. So I mean, you're definitely an honorary guest. I can give you that, you know, I can give you that
Wow.
title.
All right.
Maybe if you didn't have that Celtics jersey in the background, it might put you
Oh,
over the edge. But yeah,
shit. I forgot about that.
yeah, I bet you did. I didn't.
I didn't even know that was there, bro.
Uh-huh. So yeah. Huh. But yeah, man. I think yeah, Soapy had hit me up. No, I think maybe I saw a tweet or something like that. We're talking about Kanye or the old Kanye, and at first I was like, do I wanna do this? But then I thought about it like, yeah, I've symbolically buried this man, buried the memories, but I've never done it publicly, and I think it'd be good to like kind of get it out. I've never had this forum before. But then also, yeah, just like as I was going over the old, his old lists or his old albums, it was like, just bringing everything back to my mind and just like what was going on during that time. And yeah, so anyways, if y'all haven't caught on, this pretty much gonna be a music episode. We're gonna start off talking about the old Kanye, going through his albums a little bit, and yeah.
Yes,
So
sir. Yeah, man. I thought it was a good idea. It's for me, I was like, you know what? I feel like, relative to Kanye standards, he's been out of the news for a minute.
yeah, for sure.
So it made it a little more acceptable in my mind where I was like, all right, I haven't heard any dumb MAGA shit from him in a
Hmm.
little while.
Hmm.
And like all that we've heard from him is the divorce news or whatever.
Yeah.
Side note, do you think it's weird that hasn't been really publicly acknowledged by definitely not Kim, but
Yeah.
I haven't heard an announcement, and she monetizes everything
Hmm.
and exploits every situation. And same goes for him. I've heard him. There was one comment about fuck. There was one time where he made a mention of it. I can't remember what this fucking story was, but aside from that, I mean, really no acknowledgement from either side. Do you find that
Yeah.
weird? Or do you think that's
Um,
strategic and they're waiting for like the next season of the fucking show?
Honestly, I was hoping that I had just successfully blocked them out of my life, so I hadn't heard because I muted. I think I only have one word muted on Twitter, and it's Kardashian. I did that like 3 years ago, 4 years
Good
ago.
man.
So, but yeah, I mean, it is. Yeah, I mean, because yeah, you would think, you know, they would talk about it on their show or do some kind of interview. But I haven't heard anything either. So yeah, I
It's
don't know.
interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, where do you want to start with it, man?
Yeah, we could just jump into it. Start from the first album. What I did was like, and to me, like this is gonna stop pretty much around My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. So about that came out in 2010. So just a little over 10, 11 years ago.
Handshake emoji.
So yeah. Yeah, there's not really too much to say after that, but yeah, so what I just like went through the albums and just like wrote down like my favorite songs and maybe like a little note. I wrote down my age. So yeah, let's start it. College Dropout. It came out in 2004. I was 13 when it came out. I just remember the first Kanye song I heard, it wasn't on College Dropout. It was a song he did with what's their names? I'm blanking. Dilated Peoples. That was the first time I think it's called This Way or something like that.
Yeah, it's a fire song.
Yeah. And so I was like, who is, I just thought it was a good song. And then I think I heard All Falls Down, and then I heard Jesus Walks. I can't remember like what his first single was, but yeah, man, I don't know. I think it was. I'm just trying to remember like which song, because this was like one of the first hip hop albums or albums period that I bought. Like I was 13.
Same.
Yeah. So it was like this was like, and honestly, this was like my first time like really, really getting into hip hop, just because like obviously I had heard it before then, but in my house, like it wasn't allowed. Like it was like something you had to do secretively. And so like I remember my brother, who's 8 years older than me, I remember when he had got a car like when he was 16. And so that was like, so I was like 8 years old. I used to ride around with him. And that was like the one time where we would listen to rap. And so like 98, 99, that was like DMX. And I remember he was like really into the Hot Boys and stuff like that, Snoop Dogg. But like on my own, it was just never worth it to like try to listen to it, because I'm like, I'm gonna have to sneak. And the one song I remember before Kanye, the one like rap song that like I remember hitting me was, or that I snuck to listen to, was Nelly Country Grammar. I think I was like 10 or 11 when that came out. And I just remember like I saw the video first and I was like, what the hell is this? And then of course, he blew up. But yeah, so I just remember my first, and then I'll pass it on to you, but like my first, like I think it was All Falls Down, I was like, whoa, what? I need to figure out how to get $20 together and sneak it to my sister because she worked at Target. Get it.
Yeah, I gotta sell some lemonade.
Yeah, I gotta fucking turn in some glass and some aluminum cans and try to put some. Yeah, so. But yeah, what about you?
Pretty similar. So when it came out, I think we're a year apart.
Okay.
We're definitely the olds of the Discord.
Absolutely.
Which we represent proudly every day. Yeah. Same age. I remember, I want to say that Jesus Walks was the first song that I heard. And one of my buddies in school, he was always on Dat Piff.
Okay.
Man, that's another fucking throwback that like half the Discord's not gonna understand that reference. You just say Dat Piff, LimeWire, fucking Kaza or Kaza. No one's gonna understand what that means. But yeah, so he was always the one that was in tune with kind of newer music.
Yeah.
And so I think I heard it rolling around in his car, and I asked him to burn me a CD from some other songs of Kanye. So I want to say that it had Jesus Walks, it had All Falls Down, Through the Wire. And then, eventually I scrounged up enough money to buy the album myself, or I had him burn me the full album. And that was the days that we were walking around with a Sony Discman.
Oh
you
yeah,
you had one of those?
in the left pocket. Yeah, you
Yeah, dude.
put your headphones. Yeah, and also we had headphones that had wires to them, so I'd put the wires. I'd string the headphones through my shirt. You know,
Yep.
sometimes you turn your head too fast and rip the
Yeah, get right out of the left ear. Yep.
yeah. Yeah, I remember those. Yeah, yes sir. That was even before fucking MP3 players. Yeah, I remember that.
Those were the days. People will
Yeah.
never understand like what we were limited to 20 songs
Mm-hmm.
back in 2003, 2004. So yeah, I remember listening to that song. It's funny that you bring up, in terms of rap music being acceptable in your household and shit, because it was the same for me. One of the images that always like brings up a memory is the album cover for Chronic 2001. It's
Mm-hmm.
just a black background with a weed leaf, right?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
believe so.
So
Yeah.
whenever I see that picture,
Mm-hmm.
I like teleport back to the year 2000. I think
Mm-hmm.
it came out. I actually think it came out in 99 or 2000.
Yeah.
But anyways, that was just kind of funny. Yeah, got the album. Some of my favorite songs. So I love Through the Wire. I love the sample that he used on that. Shaka Khan has since what's it called? Not denounced, but like detached herself and made it known that now she doesn't like that song was sampled. And
Oh, really?
yeah,
Is
it
this
was it was fairly recent.
okay? Huh. That's too
But I
late
think
now.
hey, she got all the royalties, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe royalties aren't coming in. Maybe the license for that expired, and she was like, "Hey, get it
So
to me."
just like real quick, I just because you just made me think about because like how R&B singers and singers in general will like tour off of their old hits and do like the oldies. Do rappers do that, or like have they started do that? Have they started to do that? Like I know I don't think Snoop Dogg tours, but if he tours, like would he, you know, like go
Yeah, that's a
off
good
the
question.
yeah.
I think it's more people. I don't know how else to say this, but people who just aren't as relevant anymore will do that because
Okay.
here, like I went to UNH, University of New Hampshire, and a few
Mhm.
years back, Nelly, who's, he's got plenty of money, but
Yeah.
he's not in the music scene anymore. And he had a concert there. This is long after I graduated,
Hmm.
but it was just him doing all the old hits, and people were telling me like, yeah, for the people that grew up during that time, it was great and it was nostalgic and whatnot. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, he's 40 now, so him wearing a wife beater with like a band-aid on his face or going shirtless didn't quite hit the same that it did in fucking 2002.
Right. Right.
So I feel like guys like that who are just like, I'll never say no to money. And if people want
Right.
to see me perform in a big enough.
All right. Yeah, so we had some technical difficulties. But I think we're back now. All right. Yeah, so last thing I heard you were talking about Nelly was touring on his golden oldies.
Yeah, he was just torn on his golden oldies, and it was starting to look kind of funny because, like, unless you're there for the nostalgia,
Yeah.
then even those people were like, "This is, this guy's 40 whatever years old. He's got the band-aid, he's got the earrings, he's
Oh
got the
wow.
wife beater, or maybe he's ripping off the wife beater if you're lucky." And it was just like, yeah, he may be past his prime, so shit like that. And like, so I don't know what a guy like Snoop Dogg does because
Yeah.
he's so much bigger as an icon beyond music. So with him, it's like, well, do I even really need to give a shit about music anymore? I can do these fucking Corona commercials until the checks stop coming in.
Yeah. And those fucking the ones he does with Martha Stewart.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
dude. Martha Stewart is still, yeah.
Here we go. Yeah.
You knew we were gonna get into something like this. Yeah,
Yeah,
only
man. I think, yeah. I will say she looks better. She looks like she aged well. We'll put it like that. Because I don't
Have
remember.
you seen pictures of the young her?
No, I just remember her like before she went into to jail. Like you talking about how young we talking?
Like black and white photos.
No. What was she? Was she a looker?
Yeah, dude,
Yeah, she
neck
did.
breaker.
Okay. All
I'll
right.
send
Well,
you. I'll send you the petition for that one.
hey man, that's rarefied air. You know, a beautiful woman that can cook and enjoys cooking. Like she loves to cook. She wants to cook every like, you know, Martha was fighting them off for sure. She probably still is. Anywho, let's get back to yeah, so you just named your favorite tracks. Yeah, mine was Spaceships. I used to play Spaceships all the time, and Spaceships actually because of
Yeah,
Spaceships, I discovered Consequence, and I was listening. You know, like I listened to a couple of his albums. Don't Quit Your Day Job is an underrated hip hop album. But yeah, Spaceships, Never Let Me Down, Two Words with Mos Def and
whoa,
Freeway. Love that song. Family Business. That was like I don't know why, but that was it's funny with that song. Uh I that song inspired me to write my first song. I remember it was. I'm glad that I lost like the manuscript because what I remember was like God. It was basically like
you gotta dig that shit up.
no. It was no. There's no way. Like this was
Recited
back
it
in
from
North
memory.
Carolina. No, I don't remember the lyrics. I just know I remember like how I wrote it, and it was basically like his song, but I just changed some words and like inserted family members in instead of so it was it was plagiarism at its finest. Uh but
That's
yeah,
an
man.
underrated song.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, like that whole album, you know what I'm saying? Like from top to bottom, you know, it was I used to like I just play that on repeat like for hours. And because I remember like we had just moved to North Carolina, and so like I didn't. I mean, I met people pretty quickly, but I was just like in my room, like in a small apartment with all my brothers and sisters and my parents for a couple months, just like listening
Yeah.
to that, and yeah, man, fucking that was like you know Kanye was like I said, I knew about hip hop, but after listening to him, it made me want to research. Like that's when I went and was like, okay, let me check out Nas, let me check out Jay-Z, let me check out Lupe, all this stuff. So it was like, but yeah, that's College Dropout. All right, so next, we're moving on to Late Registration, which came out the very next year. And this is like the ones that we're going to mention, College Dropout through My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. This is less than 7 years. 6 albums, no, 5 albums. I mean, you could make the argument that all of them are classics, at least three. But I mean, like I said, I feel like you could easily make the argument for all of them. And it's like, this is like Jordan, or this is well, not Jordan, who won 500, whatever. He had, 5 years, 5 year streak of just like, you know,
Peak for peak, he was 6-0 finals MVP every time. I
yeah,
think, in my
yeah,
opinion, like it's tough now because the way that music stats is measured is through streams.
yeah,
And so I think Drake and like all the pop stars are going to dominate that. Like
yeah,
Kanye will never get that. But if you want to talk peak for peak, he's up
yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah. Like, I mean, obviously, you know, after he passed away, then it kind of his legacy was tarnished a little bit.
Yeah, it
But
was a tragic smelting accident, right?
yeah, yes, he was smelting while skydiving, whilst skydiving, and
People
we don't
told
we
him
don't
not
need
to
to.
do that.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was Kanye always taking chances, always taking risks. Um, but yeah, man, like it was, because I was, I remember all the albums, but I couldn't remember. Oh, like when did this come out? Was I, 15 here? Blah blah blah. And it was like, no, 04, 05, graduation, 07, 808s, 08, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, 2010. But yeah, and I kind of feel like so like with Late Registration, I kind of feel like it's sort of maybe just in my mind, like the underrated album out of those top 5, like, because I feel like 808s is talked about so much now that you can't really call it underrated. But I feel like Late Registration, like it had hits on there. It had Gold Digger, it had I didn't write down all of I just wrote down like my favorites, but I mean it had Touch the Sky,
Oh man,
so yeah.
I almost ruined the CD player in my car playing that song. If I could phone a friend and just call one of my friends right now and been like, hey, tell Kane your experience with the song Touch the Sky, he'd tell you that I had that shit just on repeat for car rides that were like over an hour long.
Hey man, I used to be that way with Gone, the song with Damn Right, bro. That was like, and I felt like, so this is the issue with, because by this time, this was 05, so I was 14 going on 15 when this album came out. I think I had an MP3 player at this time, and this is when LimeWire, was like in its heyday. So like when I think about albums, it's kind of hard for me because, I was a LimeWire, like me and LimeWire were very, very connected. So it was like I wasn't downloading. Yeah, I wasn't downloading albums. I would just download songs. I was like, oh, this song sounds good, or I heard this song, or it's featuring this person. Okay, let me. So it wasn't. So like, I think Gone slipped through the cracks with me because I remember when I had started driving. So in like 08, 09, that was when I used to play it all the time. Like I don't remember hearing it before that point. So I think I missed it in my LimeWire searches. But yeah, fucking oh yeah, no, it's your turn. That's
no, I was just gonna say I'm looking at the track list right now. I'll name all the songs that I fucking love, and it's most of them. Heard Him Stay, I think was a great beat. I'm not a Maroon 5 guy, but I thought that was actually a good combo with him and Adam Levine. Touch the Sky, great song. That'll get you pumped up, like no matter what you're going through. I feel like Lupe, that was my first exposure to him.
Mine too. I think so.
The video is classic with Pam Anderson and Tracy Ellis Ross.
Yep.
Evil Knievel was his fucking character in that. Drive Slow, I think that's a slept on song. Great beat. Let's see here. Crack Music, there's like 4 total words in that song, but they're all great.
Real quick though, you left out Nia Long. She was also
my bad.
It's okay. And then don't forget, okay, are we in agreement that Paul Wall, like I like Kanye's verse more just because sometimes it's just, I don't know. I guess I like the content more of that verse, but Paul Wall got him on that song. We're in agreement there, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. Okay. I think that kind of beat like works with Paul Wall a little better than Kanye naturally.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. It hurt me to say that, but it's not Black History Month, so it's okay. Plus Kanye.
We Major.
Oh yes.
It's like I'm looking here, 7.5 minutes. I don't think anyone under the age of 25 can sit through 7.5 minutes of anything.
Bro, I missed that. We're gonna talk about another song later that is around that time.
I think I know where you're going. Where you're going with that.
But yeah, fucking bro, just let me stop you with me. We Major, I feel like it's in the running. I mean, maybe we'll do this next. I don't know. But Kanye's top songs, We Major's up there. Like, yeah, like it's I'm trying to hear the argument against it. Like I don't know if I'm comfortable saying it's the best song. It's definitely one of my favorites. I feel like it's definitely slept on. It'll probably be the opening to this episode. But okay. All right.
I just want to say, as far as that song, I 100% agree. I like when the song gets extended after all the verses are done, and then like part of the reason that I think Kanye resonated with me and a lot of people was just his aura, his energy. He was just constantly talking shit, doing things that other people were giving him shit for. Like, you know, he was the first backpack rapper. He was the first guy, mainstream wise, to be
He was a
dressed in the way
nerd.
he dressed. Yeah, he was a
Freaking
nerd.
preppy.
He was wearing polo shit, talking
Yeah.
about it. And, you know, the way that he dressed, he really was before his time in terms of like the trend setting with the fashion.
Yeah.
I hope we never go to the shit that he did after 2011 fashion wise. But
Yeah, I don't know.
that song
Doesn't exist.
Yeah, it doesn't exist. I don't even know what I was talking about, but that song where the music, the beat rolls out, and then like after 90 seconds of I feel like there was a break with no verse. It drops for a second, and then he's like, "Can I talk my shit again?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yes, this is the energy. This is the espresso." Like he's described himself. I was like, that's why I messed with this guy.
Yeah, like I felt like if you, not saying that you can't appreciate him if you weren't, but I feel like if you were a teenager hearing Kanye, like, because like I said, like in previous episodes, around this time, you know, this was the Lakers were starting to get good again. Kobe was, you know, on his like crusade, and you had this music in the background. You had Kanye talking his shit, dominating. Like, I just remember 15. Like I was, I wonder if I could have a conversation with that young man. 16-year-old me. I just got done watching the Kobe game and listening to Graduation, which we're gonna get to, but yeah,
man. Every other Facebook status I was setting in those days was just Kanye lyric. Like, can I talk my shit again? What else? There's lines from like the song that you talked about, "Family Business." I know that's the previous album, but what's that line? It's like, when he was talking about sharing the bed with his cousins, and like one of them used to pee in the bed.
Yeah. But you had to tell my girl I used to pee in the bed.
Yeah. It was all resonating for no reason. Like not all of it was necessarily relatable, but I was like, that's like what do they call it now? Main character syndrome. Yeah. Kanye will give you main character syndrome.
What's that? Let's break that down for me.
So it's just where, like, let's say you're walking through the mall or something, just minding your business. You picture yourself as a movie character where everything kind of revolves around you. So you just kind of, I'd go on Facebook and just type up some corny ass status update like I was Kanye.
Yeah.
Log off and feel like I was the man.
Haters couldn't stop me.
No.
Outside of champs today. Yeah. About to get that job at Lowe's Foods. Ask about me.
Yeah. Man, I've been working this grave shift. I ain't made shit.
Bro, so that was okay. So you know the whole grocery cart theory or experiment or whatever, where it's like, you know, if you don't push your cart in, then you're like a bad person or something like that. So I used to push carts. I was Lowe's Foods. Shout out to Lowe's Foods in Knightdale, North Carolina. I worked there for like 4 years, and you know, I would be pushing carts. The reason I think this is why, like, I can't really talk about it, like, because I was like, as a cart pusher, as a former cart pusher, let me make that clear. I didn't have an issue unless like someone sent their, you know, cart like all the way across the parking lot. I didn't care if people didn't bring it in, like put it where it needed to go, because the longer I was outside, the longer I was on my headphones. I just, you know, I would like, I just be playing Kanye
next level,
pushing carts like for 2 hours, because they would always be like, as long as it wasn't like in the summer, because you know it get fucking hot in North Carolina. But
So you
So
respected the people leaving their carts out as long as
I was like, I didn't
as long as
care.
they didn't throw it to the next plaza.
Yeah. I was like, because I'm just gonna. Okay, it's just more music time. You know, they
I got a
ain't.
fucking album to get through.
Yeah.
So yeah, leave it there.
Exactly.
There's some shit I may put on repeat. So you want to
Yeah.
slide it a few parking spots over, be my guest.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's just that just triggered it in my head because I started like I got my first like that wasn't a summer job in when I was 16. So what was that 2007? Yeah. So and that's when graduation came out, which we're about to get to, or is the next album. But yeah, so I was like, I didn't give a fuck. Like, I'll push the cards. Like, who wants to get cards? The kids like, oh, I was like, yeah, I'll do it. Shit. I got fuck you. And I just be out there vibing. But yeah, so yeah, that I definitely remember having that main character syndrome because it's like some music that's what's like great about like the best music. It's like it takes you to another place. You know, you could be walking like I love nowadays, just like playing my headphones, like going grocery shopping, and it's like you're not even, I feel like I walk differently, you know what I'm saying? Like
Oh yeah.
so, but yeah. And then like I think you already mentioned it, Lupe. I think this was I can't remember. I feel like his album came out after Lupe, his first album came out after this song he did. Like I think he did this feature with Kanye,
Right.
and then his album came out. So I think this was my first time. Like, oh, who's that? Blah blah blah. And then so and we'll talk about Lupe a little bit later, if my computer stays up. That's what happened, by the way. I tried to plug it in, and then sometimes my computer will be erratic and just like it doesn't want to do anything but charge, and so it like kicked me out of this. But anyway, so we'll see. So okay, so graduation came out in 07. I was 16. My favorite songs off of there, Good Morning. I used to wake up to that, like that used to be my alarm. Barry Bonds with Lil Wayne, which we can bro, like okay, we could just let's stop there real quick because that was Lil Wayne was the note that I made here. So this was 07. I was a junior, and this was like I think 07, 06, 07 to 2010 or whenever, 2009 to it's probably I'll say 2010. So from like 05 to 2010, this is when like Lil Wayne blew up. I remember it was like sophomore, junior year of high school, senior. That's when all you heard was Lil Wayne. I mean, of course, Kanye was there as well, Lupe for sure, but everybody, I felt like everyone united on Lil Wayne. Like, so you had like the drug dealers at my school, the fucking, nerds, the fucking in-betweens, jocks, what everyone loved Lil Wayne. You know what I'm saying?
The
I think
Bitcoin group.
yeah, we call them nerds. Y'all call them, cyber currencyers, I believe is the term. But yeah, man, fucking Lil Wayne was just like, like there was so much good music at that time, and I feel like, I gotta be getting old to say stuff like that, but look, I'm willing to put that era, from like the 2000s, like I'm willing to put that music like up against anything, to be honest with you. Like I feel like it's got a strong um argument to being just especially for hip hop. I think the 90s definitely has a claim, but I don't know. I felt like least personally, the 2000s was just like that sweet spot, and there's so much good music. Like if you go from, I think Nelly came out in 2001. The Blueprint, was around that time, so it's just like, and then music was just so much more accessible. We'll get into it later, but just like, yeah, artists were having a little bit more control. Mixtapes became a thing, and so, but anyways, yeah, that's Graduation.
Yeah, Graduation, that might be at the time that it came out, it was my favorite album of his because I loved, let's see here. Good Life is still one of my top 5 favorite songs of all time, just because I love the sample of PYT from Michael Jackson's Slowed Down. There's a couple videos where, like, when the album first came out, Kanye was just performing the song normally, but then I think by around 2009, 2010, he started throwing in to his live performances. It would start out with a shout out to MJ, and then the beat would be the unaltered like PYT sample, and then over the course of 30 seconds, it like starts to slow down gradually and turn into the Good Life beat.
Wow.
Fire.
Yeah.
Flashing Lights.
Oh yeah.
Such a great
remember the video? Was that the
Yeah.
With
The model walking up to the Mustang.
Right. Yeah. Flashing.
I love that video. It was only one shot, and Kanye's in it for like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I really like the visual quality of it. And man, back in those days, I don't know if you ever hopped onto forums at all, but I was part of Kanye. I think it was back then. It was called KanyeLive.com.
Okay.
And then they changed it to Kanye to the.
Yeah. That's when I remember it.
Yeah. So I used to be on that all the time, like looking up. They talk about, look at how he was dressed here. Look at his recent tweets. Here's the new songs he's rumored to be on. Here's some videos of him performing live from like some of our fans and some of our members. So it was just, it was cool. And I remember 2007, he released it in September. So I was a freshman. So that was the first month of college for me. And I remember going to, do you guys have FYE, the music store?
I don't know. That don't sound familiar.
So yeah, it's just like a whatever music movie store. I remember going there. Actually, I think with Dan. I think it was with Dan. Braving like we had no cars or anything like that, so we had to take the public transportation from school to the mall about 20 minutes away. It was fucking like a downpouring, and I remember this because when we came back, got in the elevator, and my shirt was drenched. I was wearing this Rockaware t-shirt. I don't know why. I was treating it like I was going to a concert when really I was just going to get the album. But it was the Rockaware t-shirt that had the Dynasty sign on it. So we were going to get the album, and 50 released his album the same day. Right. They had all that build up.
Right.
Yeah, they had all that build up. Who's going to come out on top? Who's going to hit 1 million in the first week? Kanye fucking mopped him. They did the appearance at I think it was VMAs or MTV Awards, whatever it is they do at the end of the summer. And then obviously we come to find out later that was all staged and they were just both trying to maximize and
pump up themselves. But it was still cool. It was still a moment. I remember that.
Yeah, they had a cover together on Rolling Stone where they were facing each other like Tyson and Holyfield.
Right. You remember? Yeah, because I remember that was at one of those award shows, and then like Kanye's shorter than 50, so he like stood on his tiptoes when they got closer. Yeah, man. That was a moment. Bro. It was good times. Good times
indeed. Homecoming was another good song. Big Brother. So Big Brother. It's a complete album.
I wrote down Everything I Am, The Glory. This was like, it kind of matches up well because this is like, I think I was like 17 when I was like really listening to it. And this is like, Kanye just he was kind of writing my adolescence because his next album, 808s. This is around the time where love started to enter into my heart. And so of course that means that a little bit of emo, this was like peak. This is like peak what is that called? Like angst. I was definitely getting, so 808s came around at the right time. I didn't like it at first. I didn't like it at all because this was like, the auto-tuning era, like before, Future pretty much snatched it from everybody. This is when everyone was like hopping on auto-tune. This is 808s came out in 08. And I didn't, it grew on me, but it definitely grew on me. The songs I wrote down: Welcome to Heartbreak, which of course introduced at least me to Kid Cudi. And then Amazing. I still play that song. That's a great like workout song for me. And then, but at the time, my favorite was See You in My Nightmares. I remember with this song, I remember I was talking to a young lady at the time, and it didn't go anywhere. Like we were like talking for a minute, and then we just like stopped talking. I remember like, oh my god, this is I remember like sending. I sent like a so stupid. Like this is the days of where I was, on that. Oh, okay, I don't want to, I text her today, blah, blah, blah. Okay, let me chill for a couple of days, and then I'll text again, and then, oh, she called. Oh, let me be cool. I'm a call back in 20 minutes and shit like that. But I just remember like this girl, and she was, I don't know if she listens, but shout out to you. There's no hard feelings or anything like that. But we had stopped talking. I remember like I had like wrote out this. It's probably like a 2-line text of just like, hey, I wish you the best, but something like basically we're not talking anymore, which probably didn't need to be said. But I remember that I was friends. I was really good friends with her best friend, which probably played into. Anyways, so all I remember is her best friend used to always ask me like, oh, what? And of course, like I didn't get a response. I sent that text, didn't get a response. So her friend, we would still talk sometimes. And looking back, I kind of felt like I was a part of 3-way calls that I wasn't aware of at the time. Like when I think about it now, but just because the way certain things worked out. But anywho, she was like asking me about the girl, blah blah blah, because she was like, she felt like we would have been good together or whatever. And so I was like tired of telling her like, nah, it's just we're good, but it's not happening. And she was like, well, why, blah blah. And I was like, okay, listen to See You in My Nightmares, and that'll explain everything. And then it was like, of course, like I played it, I don't know, years ago, and I was like, man, this is pretty harsh because Kanye is like, tell everybody that that I don't love you no more, and like, oh, that's not how that was what's wrong with me. That's messed up. So, but yeah, at the time, yeah, it was.
I picture you just. I picture you just changing the tracks like to go along with your mood. Like all of a sudden you do hear back from her and you go to track 1, like, why would she make calls out the blue?
Oh my, but yeah, this album that it was funny when I was like, that sounds very Drakey, but yeah, this album like helped birth Drake. This is like 100% around that time when I started listening to Drake, and this is this era Drake from like 08 to 2010, 2011, right whenever, like, what was his first album?
Thank Me Later.
Thank Me Later. Was it Take Care?
It was Thank Me Later.
No,
Take Care was his second one, I think.
Okay. Well, yeah, his first album, that was my favorite Drake. That and before. So, but anyways, yeah.
You know what's funny?
Yep.
I was just gonna say, people are not gonna believe. Again, we're old, The people that are 25 and under are not going to believe how much flack Kanye got for going to auto-tune.
Yeah.
Because I remember logging on to the forum, and every day it'd be like, you know, people talking about whatever new songs he put out. And every time he came out with a new song, it was auto-tune again. And people were like, man, are we ever going to get the old Kanye back? Or why is he doing the T-Pain thing?
Yeah.
Auto-tune back in those days was the way that like 3-pointers were a couple years ago, where people were like, why would
you will
do
never
this?
win a championship.
You will never go platinum using that. Stop
Steph
it.
Curry, Klay Thompson, take it to the
and now
home,
everyone's
gentlemen.
fucking doing it.
Yeah.
So
man.
Props to him for, you know, making that or not making it mainstream, but he was just like, I don't care what people say. I like the way that it sounds. I like fucking around with the effects and whatever. So I just thought that was an interesting parallel.
And this was around the time too when he had that Taylor Swift incident when he came on stage. Because when he took a couple of years off, because this was so there was a 2-year gap between late registration and graduation, but so he took a couple of years off, and then here comes My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, which was like, you know, you can't, this is like, you know, Steph's unanimous, you know, this is you know, Jordan and the second championship season. It's like, you can't, you know, what do you say?
This is 81 against the Raptors.
Yeah.
This is Bonds hitting 73.
Yeah.
This is like
game 6.
You're gonna have to walk me.
Yeah. It was like, okay, well, you got the crown. This is, I mean, like I finally accepted a couple years ago that this is my favorite. Like, even though it's hard to put anything over College Dropout just because of just like the impact that it had, but musically, you know, I think without a doubt, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasies is his magnum opus. You know what I'm saying? This is his, you know, this is his work of art. And this came out in 2010. So I was 19, 20 at the time, probably my peak dumbass age, or this is my peak toxicity age, without a doubt. Fucking, well, I was just gonna just name the tracks, like the ones that like were my favorite at the time, stood out the most, like other than, you know, the commercial songs, you know, other than, you know, Monster and All of the Lights, but Gorgeous, you know, I remember the whole how does that line go, where he was like, try to blacklist me, forgot about 2 things, my black, but like, that's Gorgeous.
So what do I look like, a fucking roach?
Yeah. What's a black beetle anyway? A fucking roach?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man. Was that the same song where he was like choke a South Park rider with a fish dick? Is that, I don't know if that's Gorgeous.
I think it is.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, that's just, Kanye was just like, suck my dick. That was him the whole album. Like, so, and I that was, like I said, that was my peak. I was on something else, because this is like, I think this is either 2010 was either the Lakers' second championship or their first, you know, with
second
post Jack. Okay. So I was like, Can't Tell Me Nothing, which was that's not this album. That's a different album. But yeah, man. So okay, you got it.
Same thing. For me, it was my senior year of college, and when he came out, so the album dropped in November, and the first single that he dropped or performed anyways was Runaway at the VMAs. And that was his coming back out of basically his hiatus from the Taylor Swift incident. And that was him telling people, like, I don't necessarily know what the premise of the song is, but I think it's part part I'm sorry, part like this is just who you're dealing with now. And I've grown a little bit, but you know, this is me. That song is my favorite Kanye song of all time.
Runaway.
What I did with Touch the Sky years earlier, I then did here, but this time with an iPod. So just hit the repeat button. And dude, also back in those days, I had so the iTunes on my computer. If you looked at the play count of songs, Runaway was honestly in the thousands. And all of my other songs were fucking 40, 50, 100 maybe. It was in the thousands. I also had 7 different versions of the song. So like you scroll through my iTunes and there's just a chunk of Runaway. It was like Runaway live at the VMAs, Runaway live at SNL, Runaway live performed at the fucking GMC Center in Vancouver. Just random shit like that. But that song, tremendous. The opening, phenomenal. The way that he performs it live in concert, where he takes a break in between each piano note and then like runs around stage. Phenomenal. And then Devil in a New Dress. I think Rick Ross is awesome in that song.
Absolutely.
And I also think the bridge where there's the guitar solo. I'll send you some of the videos I've since looked up of people covering that. But that guitar solo by Mike Dean was so good to rev you up from Kanye already killed it in the first half of the song. Then you hear this and you're like, oh fuck yeah, this is main character syndrome. Like I don't know what this guitar is telling me to feel, but I feel it. And then Ross comes in and what the fuck is his first line? Looking at my bitch, I bet she give your ass a bone.
Oh yeah.
Looking at my wrist, it'll turn your ass to stone. So that album, he was on one.
That album, that song particularly is that, you know, throw in the towel meme, or the gif with Apollo Creed's cornerman, like, nigga, you done enough. What the hell are you doing?
Throw the damn towel.
Like, this is the other producer, like, yo, come on, what are you?
It's kind of hot in here, bro.
Yeah.
Damn.
Can we take a break, please?
Can I get some water? Sheesh. Yeah, he was on 1,000 for that whole album.
Yeah,
and I think that was the first time that he was like flying people out to Hawaii to record with him.
Yeah,
and there's an article that came out from Complex earlier this year, and people have talked about it before about just how maniacal he was. You weren't allowed to have your cell phone on. You weren't allowed to have it on you. I want to say, like, there was a room that you entered where, and he wasn't just telling, you know, producers that we're not aware of. He was telling like Ross, Nicki Minaj. I want to say Drake may have been involved somehow in this album.
He was there. I think all the good music was there.
And it was just like such a collaborative effort that he was like, all I want you guys to focus on is we're gonna record music during the day. We're in Hawaii, and then at night, I think he played basketball a little bit, and that was pretty much it.
No lobster, only crab. This is not a lobster out. Yeah. I remember there was some album that I read during the time that was about, they were talking to all the different artists. I remember like Nicki was saying that she would write and like she would wake up super early and because she liked to write in the morning or something like that. I remember, you remember Pusha T's verse on not So Appalled, the one where no, it is Runaway. It's on Runaway.
Okay.
Where he's like,
I remember his verse.
Yeah, you remember it? Okay. Where he's talking about let me remember the line. What does he say? Basically he cheated on the girl and he was like, you know, I did it. I admit it. Here's your choice. Either leave or deal with it or something like that. And so I just remember in the article, Push was like, he was actually going through like some real life situation, like relationship situation. And Kanye told him, he's like, yeah, I need your most like assholey verse, and he was like, Kanye, like I'm actually dealing with, and he was like,
yeah, turn it
yeah,
up.
you use that, yeah.
Just hit record and we're good.
He's like,
I'm
yeah,
looking at the verse
stay in
right
that,
now.
stay in that mindset.
What else do you need to stay in that dark place, Push?
Should I put her picture on the mic?
What's her boyfriend's last name? Is he on Facebook?
Oh boy. But we would be remiss if we don't, and this is how you know, like that's what I say, no matter what, Amber Rose, she has not got her roses. You know what I'm saying? Which I didn't even mean to do that, but she hasn't got her flowers. She hasn't got her flowers, whatever. That was kind of anyways, yeah, like she was, she inspired this album, kids. I don't know what y'all think about Amber Rose now, but all I'm saying is, I ain't trying to break up no happy house or nothing like that. I mean, it's probably, we should only ask the good sis, but so much. But Kanye ain't had an album like this since Amber Rose. Maybe he need to do whatever he needs.
Is she single? Do we know?
I don't know.
I know she was with Wiz, had a kid with him.
Yep.
She dated an NBA player, Terrence Ross, for a little while.
21 Savage. Yeah. I feel like 21 Savage got a boost musically from his involvement with her.
I never thought of that, but that's a good call.
Yeah,
that's a good call, man. Man,
god damn it!
That song is also like 9.5 minutes long, which nowadays artists will come out with 3 or 4 songs, call it an album, and it's about 10 minutes long.
Yeah.
So, I'm reading Pusha T's verse right now. Mm-hmm. Ichabod Crane with that motherfucking top off. Go where? Back to wearing knockoffs?
Yeah. It was really like, but I remember, Bomani was like the one that pointed me to the article, or like his post pointed me to the article, and he was just saying like how, like Push didn't really come off believable in that verse, which that's what I remember. Like it was a good verse, but it was like, but then reading that, I was like, he was like, I was actually going through some shit. Like I was Kanye made me do that. So, but let me just say real quick, my computer is dying, and as we said before, or as I mentioned before, it's not allowing me to charge. So I mean, we'll just go until, if we have to do a part 2 or whatever, we will. But just in case this episode might sound a little chopped up, but this album I have the most notes from, just because one, I mean, there's a lot of things that came out of this verse and out of this time period, which was 2010, 2011. Have you ever heard Freshman Adjustment?
Yeah, is that his mixtape, or am I thinking of someone else?
Yeah, I believe, I don't remember when he dropped it, but it was, some of it was songs that he left off College Dropout, and then some of it was just songs that and fucking, that was like kind of like a throwback to the past for me, because I listened to it around the time My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy came out, and I love that. I love that mixtape. Gossip Files. It was just like there's a bunch of good songs on there. And then also along with that, the Nicki Minaj Monster verse, like for years, because I haven't really enjoyed too much of her music, but I would always, like I can't talk shit. One, just because I don't want to, but then also like, look, she had Monster. She killed everybody on Monster. And that's something that you can't take away from her. But which this is what I forgot to do this research. I was just hearing some things and putting some things together earlier this week that apparently Safari wrote a bunch of her music. I don't know all the songs that he wrote. If he wrote Monster, then I mean, like I said, it doesn't matter because I don't listen to Nicki anyways. But it's just like, okay, if he wrote that song or if she didn't do that herself, because to me, and this is kind of like what plays into of just like how easier it was to just put Kanye to rest when it was time. Because it was like, nigga, you didn't. I don't know how much of these songs you wrote, but apparently, apparently I need to, be giving Rhyme Fest, a lot more.
Oh boy.
Yeah, and I think Consequence wrote a lot. So I mean, to me, that always that matters. Like it matters. It's not the end all be all. Good music at the end of the day is good music. Like there's plenty of great writers and great rappers, frankly, that don't make good music. And I think that's the point at the end of the day is making music. But writing your own verses, it just elevates. I kind of feel like I can't call you a lyricist if if you got someone else writing your verses. Like it's not,
Seems to go against the rules.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like I said, it's all, collaboration, and someone might be, I think it's different between someone, being like, hey, maybe say this word or blah, 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 or, as opposed to someone, writing the whole verse. Like I was always against that. And then especially like during this time, I was making music, so that was like something from the beginning that I'm like, this is not like, we can help each other, but because it was like me and some friends around this time. Then real quick, you can stop me whenever. Of course, like you mentioned it, Rick Ross, Devil in a New Dress. I feel like that is like, once again, just kind of like help solidify, Ross. I don't know when Port of Miami came out. I know it was before this for sure, but it was just like
I think it was 06, 07, I think.
Okay. That sounds about right. Maybe 08. Yeah, that sounds about right. Somewhere around that time. But it was just like, I don't think there's ever been a debate against, Rick Ross being able to rap. You know what I'm saying? There was like people were having discussions about other things, but I mean, he killed this verse. Like, was already, like you said, Kanye, killed it himself. Prior to this, and then Rick Ross just came off the top rope for no reason and did it even further. But then, and I'll stop and turn it back to you after this. I believe the song is let me see if I can pronounce this correctly. Voluminati was a J. Cole song. I believe that's the song that he used this beat for. And I believe that song is either on Friday Night Lights or it's on the warm up. It could be on the come up, but it's one of those first, J. Cole mixtapes that like introduced me to him. And so it was like this song was a bridge to J. Cole, was a bridge to I started listening, and this is 2010. I started listening to Kendrick at that time, B.O.B., J Electronica. Like I said, I was making music at that time. So it was like, this is, even though college dropout, like I credit that to like exposing me, like it was like a vast exposure. MBDTF, because I'm tired of saying the whole thing, was a bridge to, it was a different type of, it was like a bridge to like my like creative, like a super creative period. And like I said, like, because I think I felt like I may have heard Cole's song that used this beat before I heard Devil in a New Dress. So, but either way, yeah, this is undeniably a classic album. I feel like, like I know who Pusha T was before this, but it kind of like exposed me to him more. Of course, good music, that the Good Fridays, I believe was the name, mixtape. It kind of, like I said, helped solidify Nicki Minaj, Rick Ross. It was a bridge to so many things. So when I'm talking about Kanye albums, this is at the top. This is at the top. So
I'm looking at the list of the Good Fridays.
Mm-hmm.
And, that was another thing that was pretty cool. And I don't think could really work in this era anymore because people don't look forward to album releases the same way that they used to, because
Yeah.
there's nothing tangible about it. You're
Yeah.
not going out to a store to get it. So yeah, you download it to your phone, but the hype is different.
Mhm.
And the way that Kanye did the Good Fridays, I was looking, I didn't realize how many songs there were.
Mhm.
So summer of 2010 into the
Mhm.
fall, he
That's
just
when it
released.
dropped.
Yeah, so
Okay.
it looks like the first one was August 20th of 2010. And
Mhm.
also just like, back in those days, we were younger. It was the summer. I was about to go into my senior year. I know you're maybe a year and a half younger. So
Mhm.
around the same time period, like you're just feeling good. And like the time in your life, I think that's what good music does to people, is just bring them back to certain memories. And he's
Yeah.
got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 songs that he released total as Good Fridays. A couple of these actually came after the album came out.
Mhm.
But it really got you ready
Yeah.
and built the anticipation. Some of these became songs on the album, some of them weren't. And some of them were, kind of the first versions. He had this song. Did you ever hear Runaway Love, the Runaway Love remix with Justin Bieber, young
Yes.
Justin Bieber?
I actually did hear that. I don't remember it too much, but yeah, I know I listened
They
to it.
used the Wu-Tang Clan Ain't Nothing to Fuck With beat
Mhm.
and kind of sped it up.
Hmm.
That was a fire song, but yeah, it was just, that was such a good time in music. And like you said, it kind of ushered in the new era of the
Yeah.
artists that you were talking about.
Mhm.
Um, Real quick, did you still like Watch the Throne?
Yeah, and that's
Okay.
I didn't write that one down because I forgot about it because I always like just like the song. Actually, I can't remember the name of the group, but it was a short-lived group that um Lupe, Kanye, Pharrell, and
Yeah, Child
yeah,
Rebel Soldier.
yeah. So it's kind of like I don't call that any of their songs. It's just like, oh, that was
Yeah.
so. But yeah, Watch the Throne was another good album. Really, really good album. Yeah, for sure. For sure. I just
But
didn't
yeah,
write the
man.
name
And
down.
then after that, things got a little dicey.
That was it.
R.I.P.
Yeah, yeah. It was, the good ones die young, you know? It's just
Have
like
you seen him live, by the way?
no. Uh-uh.
It's an
I probably
experience.
never
It's
will.
yeah, I never will again, but I've seen him live 4 times, and man, it was that thinking back to those concerts is what makes me want to have concerts come back,
Yeah.
because you can tell, like, I'm not saying anything that hadn't been said before, regardless of his music,
Mhm.
he's a performer to the max.
Yeah.
Stage presence, set design, the actual music itself, how
Mhm.
the live versions are different from the studio versions. It's yeah, he's on a million when he's performing live.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, it's like, you can't, none of this music hits the same to me, honestly, anymore. Which I know part of that is just not being, 10 years is a long time, you know.
Hmm.
But then of course, the way uh you know his behavior and all of that changes it as well. But it's still, I can't go back and change what it meant to me at the time, and it was like Kanye was like the soundtrack, my life. You know, him, Lupe, Lil Wayne. Yeah, and then like I said, around this time, my early 20s, 2011 and on up, uh, Kendrick and B.O.B. and um, did you ever listen to Hobson? This is just
I didn't.
no, okay. Well,
Did I
yeah.
miss out?
He had a couple. I can send you. It's like three or four songs um that I used to listen to a lot. And yeah, but it was just, I mean, of course, it's like who doesn't love music, you know what I'm saying? But it's just cool, like when you go back and just like it takes you back to certain periods of time. And Kanye definitely did that, like just doing this research like help like bring up some memories. And yeah, this was fun, man.
Yeah,
This was fun.
big time. It's a walk down memory lane.
Yeah.
Again, it's such a tragic death that he died.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it happened.
Live fast, die young.
Yeah. Just like Jordan. Jordan, he could have won a couple more championships. He probably would have had to change things up. Maybe, go to the Knicks or something like that. But he walked away at 6. And I feel like if you throw in if you throw in the freshman adjustment and you throw in Good Fridays and you throw in Watch the Throne like that, along with his his other studio albums, that's about six championships. I'll give him that. And yeah, this was
he was
fun,
on some good remixes back in the day too.
Absolutely. Yeah. This
like Lollipop remix is one that comes to mind as just like huge songs that he then hopped on. The Put On remix with Young Jeezy, that was a great song. So yeah, he was all over the place back in 04 to 2011.
Yeah, man, he had his fingerprints, like literally. He changed the sound of music. Not just him, but he was a big part of it. And then we didn't even talk about the the art he's produced. That'd be a whole nother episode and all that. But yeah, so but like as I said at the beginning of this episode, like I kind of viewed this exercise as like a lane of rest to Mr. West, and in a lot of ways my childhood, and in ways it happens, childhoods die every day. But yeah, my computer is beeping at me right now. So
I think it's just heard enough about Kanye.
He's like, all right, bro.
Yeah, we get it.
But yeah, man, Sopee, I'll give you the last word. Well, I just want to say I appreciate it. This was fun, and we gotta, because we didn't even get into the rest of the stuff we were about. This might be a Sopee Saturdays. We might have to make it a thing.
That does have a nice ring to it.
There we go.
Yeah. Appreciate you having me on, bro. This is a lot of fun. I love talking about old music, and we definitely got to hit on those other topics because I think those are going to be some good conversations. I won't tease them, but I think you came up with some good shit. So we'll definitely have to do that.